I want to turn the conversation briefly towards politics. I mentioned it earlier, Al Gore was here, and I mentioned the idea that Donald Trump believes that you should be his Treasury Secretary should he win the presidency. Officially, do you want the job?
No. I think I know he says that, but there's no way I would ever do that, and it's a joke. Maybe. I don't know if he's joking or not. But
I think he's serious.
Well, I'm certainly not. I'm not ever going to be secretary of anything in Washington. I mean, I deal with Washington a lot, and we're very involved with Washington now. And by the way, I have to tell you something, that Washington has tremendous gridlock, and we all know that. And there's a law that it's almost absurd. It's almost complete no-brainer not to pass in the next month, which is, and it can be passed, and it's really closer than people think. And I've been working on this assiduously for the last 3 weeks, talking to Schumer, talking to Paul Ryan, talking to all these guys, about repatriation. In other words, we need a law that allows these companies, before they're moving out, like Pfizer. And
so, so you're against inversions?
Definitely, there shouldn't be inversions, because we got to keep these companies in the country. Against is not the right word. It's just ridiculous. But I don't blame guys for doing them. In other words, Warren Buffett said it. He said, look, I have a fiduciary obligation to my company. If the law allows these, then people are going to do them, and I don't blame them for doing them. But what you have to do, and it's so simple, is to change the law. The only ones that don't really want to do it seems to me, because I've spent the last literally week on the phone talking to all these guys, senators and congressmen, on the Ways and Means Committee in the House and on the Finance Committee. Everyone to a man says we definitely should do this. Now, what you do is pass a law, and you say, this money that these companies made over there, they're right not to pay taxes on them. Because you know what? Because they made widgets over in another country, and they pay tax in that country.
Why do you think there's a realistic chance? You think there's a realistic chance?
I'm hoping, and I'll be proud of myself if we get it done. But I'll be proud of the congressmen and senators that do it. I really do believe that Ryan wants to do it, Schumer wants to do it. I think they all want to do it. The fight is that you have these two in Washington. The problem isn't that these guys aren't. I find a lot of these guys that I talk to on the phone in Washington, I know you're not going to believe this, a lot brighter than some of these CEOs I talk to. So, I really mean that. So it's not that they're not bright. But the trouble is that they're dug in, that the left wing of the Democratic Party is dug in on one ideology, and the right wing of the Republicans are dug in. And so the argument is, if we do this and pass these inversions, there's money we're never going to get. There are companies that are going to leave, like Pfizer. And as we sit here, they're more and more planning to leave. And it's very, very, very bad for this country if that happens. We're going to lose jobs, and I think we're much more on a precipice economically than other people do. Maybe Stanley, who just talked to you, thinks so. But what I am saying to you is that the left wing of the Democratic Party said, why should we forgive those taxes? And you say to them, but you don't, but you're never going to get the taxes. Then it's not your money. You're never going to get them. They're not going to be repatriated, and they're going to not only not repatriate it, but leave the country. So it's idiotic. Well, we think it's wrong to lower the tax. And on the Republican side, say, we should take the money back, let them take the money back, and don't charge taxes at all. So it's really almost, it's almost like in a fantasy world, Alice in Wonderland. These two sides are so dug in against each other. But I think in this case, it would be so bad for the country that if you don't pass this, that what is going to happen, there could be a lot more Pfizers. Look, Warren Buffett did it, Pfizer did it. There's going to be a bunch of companies, like you say, the CEO likes to buy stock back. The CEO also likes to make money for his company because his options will go up and inversions make your stock go up. And therefore, there's going to be a lot of that happening if they don't pass this in the next 3 weeks or month.
I want to open up to questions in 2 seconds. Let me just ask you very quickly. Are you supporting Trump, just so we know?
Yeah, I'm supporting him.
He's your candidate.
When I say he's my candidate, at this point, I don't see who else I would support. I want somebody that's going to shake up Washington, get get rid of that problem with the right wing being so crazy and the left wing being so crazy. And I think you need somebody that's not just a politician, but somebody that can go and do it from the outside. So you need somebody like a Trump that can face up to him and fight and get something done.
What do you think about then the conventional wisdom that his candidacy, at least early on, there was a view, broadly speaking, that it was not serious?
Oh, I think it's very serious. I don't agree with that at all. I don't know him that well, but I've known him for years and years. He's dead serious, and he thinks he's got a chance to win. Okay. I mean, and you don't, and I can't say. I'm not really a politician. I don't go to Washington very much. In fact, I don't go at all. But I talk to him on the phone.
Right.
So I find my time better spent here. But I would tell you that Trump is serious.